Purposely. Your life, God's purpose. Listen at purposely.com.
One of my daughters was so excited. She got invited to a new friend's birthday party, and we had recently moved to this new city. My daughter was trying to make friends. This girl was really cool. And so my daughter, she was thrilled that she was going to get to go to this birthday party. And then things went sideways. I'm Julie Lyles Carr. This is God on the Go, part of the Purposely Podcast Network. We're here to come alongside you to help create conversations about character, values, how we make decisions, all kinds of things as we're following God. We've been in a series about even if, what it means to stand and do the right thing, even if no one around you is doing it, it's unpopular, it looks hopeless. And today we're going to talk about what to do even if it's awkward. So my daughter, the birthday party, like I said, she was so excited to be there. But then she began to realize that there was a guy there who was doing some shady stuff. He had brought some things in that he should not have brought in. He was having some conversations he should not have been having. He was doing, it was not good. Now, a lot of the other people who were there were just sort of ignoring what was happening. They didn't want anything to interrupt the party. Maybe they were thinking they didn't want to cause any kind of drama. But as my daughter watched this situation, she realized this should not be going on. This is potentially dangerous. So she went and found the parents who were throwing this party for their daughter. And she called over the guy who she saw doing stuff. She confronted him in front of the parents. He was very defensive and laughed at her and told her she was being so ridiculous. And she stuck her finger in his face and she said, "You, sir, are a liar." We laugh about that story all the time because it was true. He was lying. He was doing all this stuff. He needed to be out of this particular party. But we also laugh at how awkward just she handled it so dramatically. Sometimes we need to do something and it's going to feel awkward. The word awkward, do you know what it originally meant? Originally, the word awkward meant that you were turned in the wrong direction. Now, today it means it's kind of clumsy or it's a little strange or you feel kind of silly. Sometimes you might even say, ooh, that's kind of cringe. But you know what? We need to do the right thing, even if it's awkward. Sometimes I hesitate from saying something or doing what I should because I don't want to make things awkward. But you know what? Sometimes it's right to make it awkward. Certainly that situation I was telling you about with my daughter, she was helping protect a lot of the kids who were there. She did the right thing. And did it make it awkward? Oh, you bet. It made it real awkward. But it still was the right thing to do. Now, it doesn't mean that every situation in which something can become awkward is a bad situation. For example, King David in the Bible, he was so excited because they were bringing the Ark of the Covenant back into Jerusalem, and he chose to dance before the Lord. He wanted to show his gratitude, his thanksgiving, his joy, his worship before the Lord was to come in dancing. He was so excited. But someone in his life, she felt like he was being super awkward, and she criticized him for the way in which he was praising God. And David said this to her in 2 Samuel 6, verse 21 through 22. "I celebrate before the Lord. Yes, and I am willing to look even more foolish than this." If we put it in our language we're using for this episode, I'm willing to look even more awkward than this in order to praise God, in order to show my gratitude for him. Even if it's awkward, sometimes that means you're going to have to speak up when it's going to make things a little dramatic. It's going to have a consequence. Sometimes, even if it's awkward, means that you're going to show your devotion to God, how much you appreciate him. You're going to talk about God to your friends. You're going to explain why Jesus is such a priority in your life. And sometimes it may make it a little awkward. But there are those moments, even if it makes it awkward, it's absolutely the right thing to do. Even if you worry it might be a little cringe or it might be a little strange to some people, it is still an incredible way to let people know about who you are, what you stand for, and why God is first in your life. George Fox University, we want to say thank you for being a sponsor for God on the Go. You help make this happen every week. George Fox University is a fantastic university option for your college student, located in Oregon, really close to the beach and also close to the mountains. You can't ask for a whole lot more than that. And they have incredible, robust degree programs and a campus culture in which your student will be encouraged in their own journey and relationship with God. So be sure and check out georgefox.edu, and I'll see you next time here at God on the Go.